Well, today in Rowan County Superior Court, Kvansea Cornelius pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter. Vandals in Rowan County destroyed the electrical wiring and the inside of this bus over the weekend. But with this new terminal here that they are building, they'll be able to bring in up to 10 flights, which will bring in about 1,500 people per day. The new Pokemon game is an augmented reality game, and what that means is that you can see the real world throughout the entire game. Whether you're from China Grove or from Charlotte, there's plenty of room on the hill for everyone! This place now is an entire museum, so people from all around the country can come in, see things on the walls, and feel what it was really like to be part of the crew in Germany. The city of Salisbury has started a new program for middle school girls to turn this into something like this. Well, Jonathan, Chief Jerry Stokes says that this is still in the very early stages of this investigation, and this happened on one of the busiest roads here in Salisbury. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of where this happened, our bureau is right in the middle of the Wells Fargo Bank and this scene that is right behind me, and they're only about a half a mile apart. Now, they also said that this is, like I said, the very early stages of this investigation, and it all happened just after 5 during one of the busiest times of the day. It's a scene becoming all too familiar this week in Seoul. Caution tape and police lights as officers investigate another crime and another shooting.
Obviously, this is another gun crime that has occurred in Salisbury that we are very concerned about those occurring, and something that we are working hard to, as both a police department and a community, to solve.
According to Chief Jerry Stokes, an armed robber walked into the Wells Fargo on Jake Alexander and shot a customer in the bank. When he left, Chief Stokes says he stole a car and tried to get away. Rodolfo Trujillo says his girlfriend works at the bank and was helping the customer when the suspect came in.
She sounded traumatized, like she sounded scared and panicked. All she could say was that they were assaulted, that some guy tried to rob the bank, and that the client she was helping got shot.
And while police say the customer should be okay, Trujillo says his girlfriend is still shaken up.
I think it's crazy because, I mean, you kind of know the risk when you're working at a bank, but you never really think it's going to happen until it happens.
When the suspect left the bank, he took off down Jake Alexander, hitting a car along the way. The passengers asked us not to use their name, but said something seemed off.
And I knew something was weird about it because, like, what car wouldn't stop? So we called the police, and then they said it was involved in a bank robbery.
Moments after that crash is when the suspect was confronted by police. Chief Stokes says the suspect either pointed a gun at police or fired. That's when officers fired back, striking the suspect and killing him.
We also add that the FBI is on scene regarding the bank robbery to assist us with that. The State Bureau of Investigation will take over the investigation of the officer-involved shooting. The Sheriff's Office is currently assisting us as well with some of the investigation into the robbery and the possible carjacking.
Now, once again, Chief Stokes says that this is still very early in the investigation, and we will continue to bring you details on this story as soon as they become available. Reporting in Salisbury, Courtney Davis, Spectrum News. You could feel the excitement in the air Thursday morning as Kannapolis citizens waited anxiously for city leaders to take the first big leap in changing downtown.
If we left the city the way it was, we would never grow.
For the last 3 years, the city has planned, talked, and worked with investors to finalize the design for 50 acres of city-owned property in downtown Kannapolis.
Everything we're doing is so complex and so many moving parts, we had to be really intentional about how we plan for it. So, you know, it's very satisfying to actually see it start to come to fruition now.
And after years of planning, the walls are finally coming down. With each pound of the sledgehammer, city leaders, business owners, and residents became more excited for what's to come.
And it's about being bold. When you buy your entire downtown, that's one bold step. But then making it become a reality is even more of a bold step. And that's what we are excited about doing today.
Once the public completed their part of Demo Day, crews brought out the big guns.
it's exhilarating because it's finally happening. I have people ask me in the community all the time, when are we going to see it happen? And now it's happening, and now they can see it.
And each brick that came down brought Kannapolis one step closer to the future. In Kannapolis, Courtney Davis, Spectrum News. NASCAR and beer have a long history, from the fans' hands to car sponsorships. That's why Charlotte Motor Speedway is crafting up its own special brew for its North Carolina races.
The craft brews have great stories to go with them. And so when you pair a great craft brew and it's such an amazing experience like Charlotte Motor Speedway and 10 days of NASCAR Thunder, we thought it was a natural marriage.
But they didn't have to look far. Just a few miles down the road from the Speedway is Cabarrus Brewing Company.
We really feel that what is driving the popularity of craft brewing isn't necessarily just the beer, but it's the local ties and the ties to those things that really make an area unique. And for us, the Speedway was just a logical initial starting point.
This pallet holds 100 cases of beer, and there will actually be 250 cases sold to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, meaning 6,000 beers for people to consume.
Our reaction has been amazing. The folks who've already tried it have been incredibly impressed with the brew. So we'll see how it goes and try it from there. But they've been great partners. I don't see why not we can't continue it.
As for the taste, both Walter and Steinbacher say it's a perfect fit for a long, hot day of racing.
It's a good American gold ale that's made with some wheat malts also that give it a little bit of a smoother finish.
It's a perfect summertime taste.
And for out-of-town tourists, they're hoping to crack open a little taste of the heart of Cabarrus County.
I think the question most asked of bartenders these days is, what's local? And so, you know, for us, there is no greater significance than motorsports and the Speedway here in Cabarrus County and Concord.
Which is why they believe 600 Ale is the perfect combination of racing and a nice cold beer. In Cabarrus County, Courtney Davis, Spectrum News.